All right, here we go.
All right. We were doing a little talking offline about all the energies going and swirling and moving us around, and it can be a smack across the head or a tap on the shoulder, depending on how attached you are to something. So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the list. First item: managing your chaos. You are an equilibrium point between chaos above and chaos below. Your chaos below wants to pull you more into the current narrative of the matrix, while the chaos above desires to push you out of it. Your management of the chaos is dependent on your perspective, which is dependent on your acknowledgement of your knowledge about the narrative from below and your sole directive from above. You are where you're supposed to be in this now in order to maintain your equilibrium. Any lower, you would challenge the purpose of the matrix in meeting your needs and wants, which would cause you to want to exit the matrix, i.e., some form of death. But any higher, you would also challenge the matrix as to unbelievable, and thereby also not meeting your needs and wants, causing you to want to exit the matrix. So ultimately, for this existence of this version of you, the management of your chaos places you in your current equilibrium point. Not to be smarter, not to be braver, nor more successful, nor more beautiful, nor stronger, but instead, and only, to be more livable and believable so that you want to stay in this game called life. The alternative isn't worse. It's different, more like a spectator or referee, or like a responsible parent while the kids get to play.
Yeah. And we're that point between the above and below.
Right. So that's the management of your chaos and why you're where you are right this moment. If you were anywhere else, chaos would be ruling. So you may want to be somewhere else, but your perspective and everything else is keeping you at that equilibrium point. The next one, fantasizing the direction of your equilibrium. Before you go on a trip, you plan enough of the details to quell your stress. How you go about your planning will determine if the trip is doable, i.e. livable first, and then maybe enjoyable. All of this is dependent on your perspective. Is the trip worth the trouble? What are your responsibilities? What are your options? What kind of opportunities are there? And what if you don't go? Through the planning process, you are managing your chaos and setting your perspective. Now, extend that to the trip of your life. But pause before the chaos overwhelms you and engage the greatest creative perspective expander you have ever afforded yourself, the fantasy. Fantasizing allows you to acclimate your perspective by going on the trip before you go on the trip. It allows you to break the rules before you break the rules. It allows you to feel a new equilibrium point before you exit the existing one. It is your time travel capsule.
Yeah, we've talked about fantasizing. I like the beginning of that because you can read it two different ways too. Fantasizing your, okay, what was it? How's it worded?
It's fantasizing, the direction of your equilibrium. Or it's fantasizing the direction of your equilibrium.
Both ways, yeah. And we've talked about visioning and, like visioning what you want it to be, what you want to create. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
I do a lot of that, especially at night before bed. A lot of just visualization. It's almost like it doesn't even need to happen because it's happening when I'm visualizing it, and it feels just as good doing it in my head as doing it in real life,
Right.
So the end result is very, like, I'm very unattached to anything actually happening because it usually just happens in my head.
And cause that VRing.
I call that virtual reality.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I read my books and whatever. I let go of this world and I go into a medieval world or a future
Space world.
or something like that. So the next one, your down days aren't down, they're inward. Being down is a precursor to expanding your perspective, which is a precursor to a change in your frequency. Being down is you in download mode. It's you coming home from a big trip to the grocery store or Costco and unloading all your bags into the kitchen, which is now a mess. This upsets your equilibrium or balance point by allowing chaos to flow in until you get the groceries put away into their less stressful place. Your down days signify a provisioning of knowledge coming online prior to a move in your balance point. You're stocking up while making a mess inside until you figure out how to handle the chaos. Once you do process that mess, you get back up and proceed with life with new provisions inside, right where you need them.
Yeah.
I like the word.
I like that.
I like the word provisions. Break it down.
Yeah. Pro and vision.
I like that word.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
All right. So the next one is, you know more than you think. You know you exist to do more than work, get married, have 2.3 kids, retire, and then die. All of that is natural, instinctual, programmed, and we all do it until we're ready to break out of the programming, to question our instinctual habits, and to at least consider the supernatural.
It's crazy because that like seeking that life is what I did for so long. Then when I had the exact thing I wanted, I was like, what is this? And I was just having a conversation today, but that's what taught me what like codependency was. That's what taught me that, when I wasn't a part of the family anymore, they didn't love me anymore. So that's what, all those feelings, I had to be able to identify them. And I wouldn't have been able to identify them had I not been through like that marriage or a job that let me go. And then no longer I was important to them, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's crazy that you say that.
Yeah. All right. To continue on this it's no coincidence that a good portion of our entertainment, or is that entertainment, is centered around fantasy, sci-fi, supernatural, superhuman, and beyond the norm. Invoking the term coincidence is a programmed dismissal of that which we recognize but aren't ready to address. We know about it. We just don't want to think about it. Now, how many conspiracies, phenomena, or just plain weird things have we labeled as coincidences or dismissed outright for the simple reason that they would induce too much chaos in an otherwise simple, believable, and controlled world of existence? Well, let's face it. I think the pressures of society that have kept that mandate in check are now shifting to the chaos provoked by too many dismissals. That doesn't mean there's more to every coincidence or all conspiracies have merit, but to not at least think about them leaves us in that other state of ignorance. You know more than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm floating.
Yeah.
You're just getting some excellent information. It's just coming out beautifully poetic and just it's just unlocking things.
Yeah.
All right, the
Magical.
next one.
So many layers too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leaving the nest of ignorance in the search for acknowledgement.
Mm.
The purpose of society isn't to simply exist. Its existence is to find purpose.
Mm.
This experiment called life is an experience of a lifetime. Together, we unravel the mysteries of this experiencement. If not us, the representatives of sentience, then who? Do we leave them as mysterious? And that's what we do when we refuse to think about them. Or do we endeavor to bridge this gap of ignorance? Acknowledging the existence, yet the ignorance of a thing, begins the experience of bringing that mystery into the thinking of knowledge.
Mhm.
Ignorance, like knowledge, doesn't do anything without thinking.
Hmm.
I can't tell you what to think, nor what not to think about. But neither can I abide society's bathing me in its ignorance.
Mm.
The answers are out there, beyond the rim of the nest, not within its comfort, its silence of ignorance. It's time to fly, to spread our wings, to explore our inner knowledge of our mysteries. Exploration of our limits, beyond our common sense, brings secrets to unveiling, mysteries into acknowledgement.
Mm.
Is survival all there is? Is that all there is to us? Or do we question limits in the quest for a higher purpose?
Mm. Yeah, I like that.
What was the name of Chris's album last?
Oh yeah. Was it higher purpose? Was that it? Yeah. Chris Cornell.
Oh,
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
been listening to a lot of Chris Cornell lately.
Yeah.
All right, the last one, and these are not my words, but
Those are from the high self, higher order.
come sail away. I'm sailing away, set an open course for the virgin sea. I've got to be free, free to face the life that's ahead of me.
Mm.
On board, I'm the captain, so climb aboard. We'll search for tomorrow on every shore. And I'll try, oh Lord, to carry on. I look to the sea, reflections in the waves spark my memory. Some happy, some sad.
Mm.
I think of childhood friends and the dreams we had. We live happily forever, so the story goes, but somehow we missed out on that pot of gold. But we'll try, best that we can, to carry on. A gathering of angels appeared above my head. They sang to me the song of hope, and this is what they said. They said, come sail away, come sail away, come and sail away with me.
Mm.
I thought that they were angels, but to my surprise, they climbed aboard their starship and headed for the skies, singing, come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
Mm.
That is a song,
Yes.
the lyrics to the song by Styx.
Yeah.
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 I love Styx.
I love that song too. I used to listen to it all the time.
Me too.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? We've been watching sailing videos.
Yep. When I got to the end, that's all I kept seeing, sailing. I'm like, what's going on? And then this song, the words
Mm-hmm.
started coming into my head. I go, what in the world is going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
that's a good song. And I kind of take it as not, I mean, you can look at it as the ship and getting on the ship, but I kind of take it as your high self saying, come sail with me, you know,
Mhm.
and removing yourself from the boundaries and barriers and, you know, fortresses and stuff like that we put ourselves in, and allowing ourselves to float and to sail and to explore and to be open to adventure and, all that comes with it. And that's what it brings up in me when you read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not about angels or starships or anything like that.
Right.
This is about exploration. This is about, why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with this life?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just working, getting married, having 2.3 kids, retiring, and then dying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, no, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to do that. You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But aren't we curious about what else is out there? We have all these mysteries. They've been piling up, and we keep getting the overrulers telling us, don't worry about those. Don't worry about those. We'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm done bathing in society's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I want to explore. I don't think I need to
Agree.
go out
Basic
there.
life is of no interest to me.
Hmm?
I said a basic life is of no interest to me.
I'm done waiting on someone else to tell me what that means or what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I don't wish them any ill will. I don't hold them accountable or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't hold up to the standard of responsibility that I would if I were in that role.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for them to give others a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it, we're all human beings. We're all the same sentience and capabilities and capacities as we come into this planet, but yet we stratify ourselves, into who's authority and who's not. And it's very interesting. So.
Yeah. And the blind trust, just because there's all this blind trust. It blows me away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With no research.
Yeah, there's so much more to this life. Why do we have all these, like I said, why is our entertainment filled with fantasy and sci-fi and the supernatural and superhuman, and why do we have all that?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has an interest in it, and it's not just a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
These movies are huge. These TV shows are huge.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to know something.
Mm-hmm.
They want to explore it. They just feel limited in how they can go about it,
Mm-hmm.
because someone has told them these are just the future, or the options that you have available.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any other options.
Well, like you said, Jenny, whenever you sit there at night and you envision things, your body doesn't know if it's a story in your head or if you're actually experiencing it. Your body will respond, and you'll feel those feelings just by walking into it if you let yourself feel it fully. Yeah. So it's really interesting.
And I'll go on to say, this is my belief and my belief only. I don't push it on anyone. I don't push it on you. I won't push it on anyone. But my belief is, anything you've seen in movies, TV shows, books, I don't care where it's come from.
Video games.
Mm-hmm.
It exists. It actually exists in life somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that idea come from?
The creativity.
Is that all just imagination? Well, where does imagination come from?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody.
That's how me too. I believe if you can think it, it's possible. That the only thing we create are limitations to keep us away from these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the chaos. The chaos that we balance. The chaos above and the chaos below, we balance to stay in this existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what we did in coming here was to take on the restrictions that were passed on to us from the people who took charge of the amusement park and said, to stay in the amusement park, you need to abide by these rules.
Mm-hmm.
But almost like, even to stay tethered to earth, I have to have attachments a little bit, because it's like, what's the point if, people need me and I love them? So it's like, I guess staying attached or feeling attached is what keeps me tethered, because at times I am like, ugh, why? I don't even want to be here anymore. I'm over it. Not that I would do that, but it's just like, what's the point anymore now that I know what I know?
But instead of leaving,
interesting. Yeah.
but instead of leaving and
Right.
going exploring,
Mhm.
everything out there is of our making.
Mhm.
You're now pulling those things to you that you want,
Mhm.
that you intend to have in your life, and pushing those things that you don't want anymore, and you're pushing them away.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Plus, I mean, I don't believe you physically leave till you're done with what you're supposed to do anyway, you know, and you're not supposed to leave without doing that job or else you'll just go right to the next and have to do it again. And it'll be even harder and all
Right.
that stuff. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's your guide. Your higher self is guiding you by putting obstacles in your way, making, throwing certain opportunities and seeing how you react and then adjusting, because you do have a path. It's not specific, because these things out here are all, they're props on the play, but it's the experience, the kind of an experience that you came here to explore.
right.
And that is the experiencement.
Yeah. I like that word. Experiencement.
Well, and several different jobs, just like I feel like I'm reporting certain human behaviors in my sleep time, you know, to like other realms, other galaxies and things, like to my feelings and the things I go through so that they understand humans. I've been feeling that for a long time, that I've been sharing that information.
Yeah. Well, just imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning, and you went to reach for your coffee mug and it flew into your hand. Okay, so let's
That
go
would
with
be
this.
cool.
It flew into your
That
hand.
would be really cool.
For a bit, you'd probably be staring at it and staring at your hand while it shakes and wonder what is going on and contemplating, what does this mean? But eventually you drink your coffee and do whatever you do, and then you go to reach for that towel to wipe your hands, and it flies off the rack right into your hands, and you realize that coffee cup wasn't a one-off. Okay, so now that this begins to happen, you begin to acclimate to that chaos. You start experiencing other things materializing right into your hands as you intend, as you want. You don't have to go to it, you bring it to you. All right. So this proceeds to happen throughout the whole day until it's time to go to work. Now you go to work, and then you're talking to some of your friends and colleagues, and boom, you go to reach for your coffee cup, and your coffee cup flies into your hand, and they see it. Or do they?
No, that's interesting.
Do they see it? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Will they see it? Some will, some won't.
Only
Right.
ones that can handle that chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ones that can't handle that chaos, they're not going to see it. When the other people go, oh my God, did you see what just happened? They're going to go, what did I miss? She just reached out her hand and a coffee cup flew in her hand. I didn't see that.
Yeah. It reminds me of, those things that you have to see. We were talking about the rat and the squirrel to believe, because you have the things that you try to describe to somebody, like that flew into your hand and the other person's looking at it, not seeing it. And unless they see it, they're not really going to believe it. They're just going to be sure it did,
We've talked in a previous video about the raccoons that we caught. We
caught with a flashlight.
Yeah, it was at night. We had the lights turned off and we were watching something on TV, just some YouTube video or something on TV. And we heard some scratching and whatever, and we kept hearing it. And so we said, let's go see. So we went into the back room where all the windows are. And she got her phone in order to shine the light on what we were seeing. So she shines the light on, and what do we see? We see one raccoon staring up at us, just looking at us. And he did
It was like, what?
for at least a minute. He just sat there and looked at us. Meanwhile, there's another one right next to him that was kind of curled away and not up on his haunches, and he wouldn't look at us at all.
Not at all.
Would not look at us at all. They stayed that way for a good minute, for at least a good minute.
Yeah.
Just frozen like that?
Yeah.
Just frozen like that. And it was hilarious.
We
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Then the one that wouldn't look at us, still wouldn't look at us, didn't run away, just slowly started meandering off
It's
to
like,
the
if I
top.
don't look at them, they can't see me.
Exactly.
Yes.
Then the one that was staring up at us realized that he was walking away, and he went, and then he scurried after him. Okay.
That's funny.
We told about this in one of our videos.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
but if you didn't see it, it's so hard to get. It's like one of
We
those
didn't
things.
get to get it on. She had her phone right there.
One video.
We
while
just
the
didn't.
flashlight
We
was-
were so shocked that we didn't even think about recording
It
it.
was hilarious.
Then now tell them about the other one that happened later.
Yeah, so there was a rat.
This was during the day.
Yeah, it was during the day. So there was a rat in the woods behind the house that had come out, and so it was over kind of by our downspout.
The cleanest, cutest rat you've ever seen.
It looks
It's
like
not
a pet.
It is so clean.
Yeah.
It is. It's not real big. It's probably the body of it is probably no bigger than like that.
Yeah, it's small.
We thought it was a mouse at first, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
rat. It's got a rat tail.
So it had gotten up in the downspout. It was like up inside the downspout where you couldn't see it. And the squirrel came over, and the squirrels are all over the backyard, eating seeds and stuff.
Because we
like
throw
that,
a lot of
nuts
seeds out
and
there.
stuff. And so the squirrel had come up, and it walked past it was over near that downspout.
But
and
facing away from it.
But facing, it was facing the other direction. The tiny end was toward the downspout. That rat reached out and smacked that squirrel's butt and took off running. That squirrel jumped. It was,
Oh,
You
that's
may
funny.
think she's making this up, but I watched it.
it was so funny. That squirrel jumped up. It scared that squirrel, and then the squirrel took off after it.
That
Just went over and smacked
That
it.
squirrel snuck out of the downspout, saw the squirrel
There.
off to the left a little bit,
Mhm.
walked over there, smacked it on the ass. The squirrel jumped up in the air, and the rat ran.
Hilarious. It was hilarious.
Oh, I love it.
But those things are things that you see, but it's, unless you see it, like when you describe it to somebody else, they're going like, okay, sure that
I had a
We
couple squirrels
afterwards-
at the pool. I would go to the pool. The squirrels would hang out. And we had the ducks at my pool too, like swimming around the pool, just hanging out. It's like Disney, Disney creatures are coming out now, or the animals are acting like that.
Yeah.
hilarious.
When you're ready for more
To the
chaos,
people, right? They're interacting like that to the people who are ready for the magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
but you can make your coffee mug fly through the air right into your hand, right in front of your mother or father or sister or best friend, and they may not see it.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be staring right at you as you do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see everything in the light spectrum. We
Right.
certainly don't see everything going on. People staring right at things will miss it. You get 10 people who saw an accident, and the police start to take their thing, and there's 10 different reports.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
So take that for what it is. Realize that you're seeing something different from your reality than everyone else is seeing. No one else is seeing exactly what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to limit it because of what someone else has told you?
Mm-mm.
Are you going to
No.
throw the doors open and say, what else is out there?
I'm a door open kind of person.
Right. But those who live in fear, they're gonna say, hey, let's all stay down in this
Mm-hmm.
comfort zone
Yeah.
here, and let's not push anybody's buttons, or
Let's not get uncomfortable at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
let's not scare anyone.
Yeah.
We don't want to scare anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to cause an uproar.
Yeah. Disrupt the
But
balance.
my opinion only, like I said in the one, The pressures of society are now shifting.
Mm.
They're coming in from who knows where. Everyone has their opinion or no opinion at all, but it signals a time of shift.
Mm-hmm.
We are shifting to something. And how does that shift occur? By introducing chaos in your current status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And that prompts you to start shuffling your groceries around and figuring out where you're going to put them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to the grocery store. Somebody did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instacart is showing up.
Right, you're ready.
But I didn't order these.
Exactly.
Take them back. That's what they're telling. They say, take them back.
Yeah.
What? You don't want these groceries?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't order them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we are the pinnacle of sentience in our world. We don't know any other species
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
that's higher than us when it comes to sentience.
And what we've interacted with. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
None that society will globally admit to.
Mm-hmm.
We are the pinnacle of sentience. So
in the physical. Yeah.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
No. Right now, in this existence,
mm-hmm.
what's accepted by society, we are the pinnacle of sentience.
Mm.
There's no other animal in the animal kingdom that has the level of sentience that we have.
Right.
And we have not acknowledged any other species beyond our planet that has higher sentience than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we are, as far as society is concerned, we are the pinnacle of sentience in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do with it? Are we just going to settle for
what we've always had?
The silence of ignorance? Are we going to settle for comfort and staying and
safety? No.
And working and having 2.3 kids, and are we going to settle for that?
No.
I mean, if you do, that's
okay. If that's what you choose.
But please, if you do settle for that, don't tell me to.
Yeah, right. Choose it for yourself. Everybody has their own choice.
I won't poo-poo you for doing that. Don't poo-poo me for wanting to venture out.
Right.
Exactly.
Because somebody had to explore the new world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone had to realize the Earth was not the center of the solar system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Someone had to step outside the cone of silence of ignorance within society. Mm-hmm. Someone had to do that.
To venture out when they were the only one that believed it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That took a lot of courage. Takes a lot of courage.
It did.
There were many people that were imprisoned for venturing out things that were then conspiracies that later came to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So to me, I think it's worth being considered a conspiracy follower if there is a possibility of a nugget of truth in there versus silence and allow the mystery to continue.
Right.
I love a good conspiracy. And it's funny because I used to be like, oh, whatever. I wouldn't even watch fantasy stuff. I was only into true crime. And my brother would come at me with conspiracy and be like, whatever, you're crazy. And and I'd just go watch Investigation Discovery and the news. And, I poo-pooed everything that was fantasy and fun. And now that I'm so opposite.
Because you don't have to believe it all, right? I mean, you just figure out where the nuggets are, and plus it opens up your mind to imagination of other things. It's like it helps you open yourself to questions about what could be and what is and what might be and what you could create. I mean, it really kind of opens you up.
It does, because the more I seek and the more I just allow myself to open my mind and just learn and let it come in, it's like, oh wow, look at that, and it's just allowing it all to blossom. It's so much fun, and it leads to even more. And so it's just constant. I love that. I love that anything is possible in my world anyway.
That's right. Yeah, I've made that comment 2-3 times this week. That's not the world I want to create.
Yeah.
This is the world I want to create.
Yeah. So
what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? That's my world.
That's true. What is so funny about it?
Not everyone wants to be an explorer,
Right.
but those explorers go out and find things that the non-explorers aren't aware of. So the best we can be is to allow those who don't want to explore, don't explore.
That's right.
You can contribute another way by not exploring, but don't hinder the explorers.
Right.
Yes.
Don't hinder the ones who want to step out and find. I don't know exactly what's out there.
Right.
I don't know what shape and form, but more importantly, I don't know what the impact is going to be on me.
Right.
That's why we need to get out there and explore these mysteries, because they may be worth exploring. They may be worth that experience of figuring out what they are and what they mean to us. But if we follow society's norms, we'll just stay small. We'll minimize ourselves, and we'll trade knowledge for comfort.
Yes. The Moana movie keeps coming up in my mind. I don't know if you've seen the Moana movie, Jenny, but
yes,
without going from the explorer, society to a settled society, and this one was about Moana was about going back to the explorer, and she was kind of different and on the edge and all of that stuff,
and wanted to, and had that need to go and explore, and her dad wanted her not to. I remember that. Yeah, she was like told it wasn't good.
Right. Yeah, it was safer, and it was her crazy grandma that encouraged her to explore, and it kind of unleashed their community once she was allowed to go explore. It brought the positive energy to the group, and I think that's what it is now, is let those that want to explore go explore, and it brings back the positive flow of new creation and life and excitement into the ones who don't really want to go explore, but are going to benefit from that transition of that.
Yeah.
If we don't keep each other from doing it,
Yeah. So we're in that zone, if you want to compare it to a past historical time frame, it would be just as those explorers from Europe were, just prior to them setting sail out to the New World and discovering North America, South America, and all that. But now think of it on the scale that this is much grander. There's so much more involved. This isn't a material exploration. It's a inward exploration.
Yeah.
It's inner space.
Yeah.
So you think about this list. Look how long this list is. Okay, normally it's what, 3 or 4 pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I said to him
that was 7 pages of stuff.
Yeah.
But it flowed so smoothly.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I'm done?
Yeah.
Really? That's all there is?
Yeah. You're going to be typing for a while.
Nobody wants to read this.
I told him earlier, I was like, I'd like to read that. They're just the 2 parts he had read me before. It's like, I can't wait to read that. He goes, oh, no.
I said, don't be Jenny.
You might have to start a blog too now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's getting longer and longer. So, cool.
Yeah, this, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear and an open heart, these are activations within activations within activations. These are these are things that you already wanted to do, you
Mhm.
just wouldn't allow yourself to do. And now your chaos is adjusting
Mm-hmm.
to allow a wider perspective in which your view on things resides.
Mm-hmm.
And with a wider perspective, you now can adjust and make that bigger change to a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It's a precursor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a precursor to a move. But all of society is undergoing this in some form or fashion. I'm not saying they're watching our videos. I'm saying they're being exposed. Their chaos is coming in whether they wanted to or not, because universe says it's time to move to a new paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
The old paradigm has served its needs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's true. Cool. Very good. Anything else, Jenny, you have to add to that?
I'm good. That was a good one. Really good.
yep, I'm good. I talked enough.
Yeah, we chimed in too, but I think that's buttoned up. So if you'll hold on a minute, I'll pause the video. Bye, everybody.
Bye.